Just 2 years ago, emerging market countries in Asia and Europe were growing strongly. But in 2007, the crisis hit. At first, it seemed emerging markets would be spared. But as financial markets dried up, some countries could no longer finance their budgets. And in 2008, exports were hit hard, leading to job losses and social tensions. Latvia, Hungary, and Pakistan are just some of the countries that have turned to the IMF for help.
The fund's financial assistance helps to reduce the impact of the crisis on the citizens of the country by making the adjustment less severe.
But some people are already saying that the IMF is only making things worse. In people's minds, it's easy to associate hardship with the IMF.
When IMF is trying to help a country, it's because the country has problems, and it's a bit naive to believe that it could be done without any kind of pain. What is true is that without the help of the IMF, then the solution, certainly in the country, will be even much more painful for the people.
For instance, the IMF is often advising countries to raise interest rates and cut spending.
When nobody wants any more your currency, then you have to increase interest rates to make it more attractive. When you have huge public deficit, then you have to take measures to try to reduce it.
So when there is a crisis, policy options are often limited. But that's not to say that all countries should follow the same set of policies.
What the IMF can do and should do is to work with country authorities to embed more flexibility in program design.
In fact, the IMF is changing, even as it seeks to cope with the demands of the crisis. For instance, it has reduced the number of conditions attached to its loans.
I think the early lessons for us are rather positive in terms of focusing on key issues that need to be addressed in the short run to get over the immediate crisis, and the general number of conditions in the programs have improved.
As an example of this new approach, the IMF has created a flexible credit line for countries with a good economic track record.
For those countries, the fund is prepared to provide rapid, large financing based on their track record without the normal ex-post conditionality during the programs.
The IMF is also trying to do more to shield vulnerable groups in society from the effects of the crisis.
In this crisis, everybody in the country may be hit, but some more than others. And I think the fund has to take care of the most vulnerable. And that's why developing safety net, even in the crisis, is very important.
Just to give you an example, the programs for both Pakistan and Ukraine do aim at a targeted social spending increase.
Much hardship still lies ahead for countries affected by the crisis. But to many governments around the world, the IMF has become a lender of last resort and a trusted advisor.